Okay, uh, hello. So, if you watched the last video, I went over on how to draw anatomy. Um, and I gave you like a basic idea of what to look for when drawing anatomy, the basic shapes you should learn, and the steps that I recommend you take when learning how to draw. Um, so now I did a couple of these last night just to get myself warmed up. Because I wanted to review on different ways I can teach it. Or I guess like practice tools you can use. There's a couple that you can use that I used when I was in college. You have gestures, and then you have like you time it. So it'd be like a minute, 2 minute, 3 minutes, stuff like that. I'm not gonna go sit or here and time myself for a minute, 2 minute, 3 minute, but I'll give you an idea of what it's supposed to look like. I always recommend doing gestures, especially when you're starting off, just because it's loose. They're quick, so you give yourself, I think, like 30 seconds or something to just draw a pose and see where it takes you. I have three here with me that I'm going to do gestures with, and then I'm going to lower the opacity on this layer and outline it, and then show you how it looked like for like minute or something, and then how ideally a 5 minute one should look like. And then sometimes when you're doing the gestures, I also recommend you take like a quick look at the pose and then try to picture that pose in your head, and remember how it looked like and where you think all of the different body parts go. This will help you draw faster, and it'll help you grow that mental library in your head. So yeah, remember, for gestures, you do like a quick 5 second stare at the person, look away, you time yourself about 30 seconds or so, and then you see where you're at once you're done. It's gonna look funny, it's gonna look bad, it's not supposed to look right. The more you practice it, the better looking it'll come out to be. But yeah, we'll start the first one. I want to put these images on here, but I feel like YouTube will destroy me if I put the images I'm using as reference. Again, I like to use nude models as references just because it's better when learning a body instead of looking at clothes and then trying to guess where everything is at. But yeah, we'll start with this one real quick. So I'm gonna take a quick 5 second look, remember all the important parts, and then I'll go ahead and draw it. Something like that. Ugh. And I'm gonna call it time. And then I'm gonna look back and look over at the pose I did. And I can see that I missed a couple of things, but it's okay. So that's our first one. You got an idea here, which is fine. Next, to the next one. Next pose, I'm gonna try something different. So instead of doing a front, I'm gonna do a back. So take a quick look at it. Try to remember the shape of where everything goes, the motion of everything. And I'm gonna go ahead and do it now. Right, and I'm done. I'm gonna look back at the actual one I just drew, and I've noticed, okay, so instead of doing the how the pose should be, I went completely opposite. It's supposed to be like this for the arm. I've stretched it out, so I made it look stiff instead of like flowy, I guess, as it should have been. But it's okay because I got the basic idea of it down, which was getting the rest of the body, and then, you know, I could just go back later and fix it. But I'm understanding my mistakes and I'm seeing where I can change. But this is also okay because it'll help your mind to figure out poses, especially when you try to draw from life. People don't stay in one place for too long. They're always going to move around. So as long as you can capture the essence of the person, then you're already doing better than most people. Alright, I'm gonna do one more. Because I got these 3 really cool poses I like. This one's a sitting down one. I always suggest doing like a front, a back, and like some sort of crazy little sitting down pose or action pose, just so you can have a good understanding of how everything works. Okay, last one. Take a quick look, and then go for it. I don't remember how his body was placed anymore, so I'm gonna guess it was something like this. And then I remember his legs were crossed. I don't remember this one. I'm thinking it's something like this. It's a little bit more stiff. Alright, let's see. Okay, so I was somewhat off. Let me see if I can try to do a little bit of cleaning up. So it's something like this. His hand was a little bit more behind, not sticking out. I got his leg placement somewhat right. It hides behind it and it goes over like this. This one was right though. Something to be proud of. And it just kind of comes down here. So I was somewhat there. So once you have this understanding with gestures, you can go back and take like a couple of minutes to figure it out. So we'll lower the opacity on this one, and we're gonna do some outlines with shapes, just so we can figure out how the body works. Especially if these are like new poses to you. You say, okay, so this is a head. Try to keep your references so you can always come back to them. Okay, so we're gonna say this is where the arm would be. Like that. It's a little weird. I'm not a big fan of this one, but we're still gonna try it. I especially don't like how his leg is placed. I'm gonna try to fix it. Like so. Something like that. Just so I can get an idea of it. A lot cleaner too. This one was a lot more enjoyable, really. I can't remember this one off the top of my head. And then down, over, down, like so. And then this one, I dunked this one up. Just gonna try to remember everything went. Something like this, maybe? Yeah, something like this. I don't remember how the hand was placed. I'm not gonna worry too much about the actual shape of it. I just wanna get the idea of it, and then I can come back later and add or change whatever I don't like. Sometimes you might not agree with some poses, and that's fine. You might not like how a certain leg is, or a certain arm, or whatever. You can always try to change it a little bit. I would only do that once you understand how the body works. That way you don't have, like, I don't know, two left hands and two right hands or whatnot. Cool. So it's this. And so, like, okay, kind of like what I got. I'm gonna keep this one, and I'm gonna go over it with my actual pen. And here we're gonna take a lot longer, and we're actually gonna look at the picture. We're gonna see where this person's looking. So he's looking down. We see that. Okay, maybe I did the arm wrong. We're gonna do something like this. And then go up. This man's anatomy is a little weird because he's got his rib cage sticking out. He's a little too skinny. But we're just gonna keep it as is. I'm gonna make this a little bit shorter just because it looks weird. Stick it out like this. This pose isn't necessarily my favorite so far, but it's fine. Then the foot would do something like this. And come out this way and do this. I might have to speed it up a little bit just so I'm able to go through the rest because I have work in a little bit. Alright, I'm just gonna move this up. Alright, I want to speed it up. I'll be back in a bit. Okay, so I'm done. I took a little bit more time on this one. I guess that one ended up being my favorite more than this one, which is weird because I think this one's pretty cool. Um, but yeah, so that's the good idea of everything I did. This one's a little bit more detailed, as you can see. I emphasized some of like the pinching on the body and stuff. And then on this one, I put a little bit more work on the line work and whatnot. This one I wasn't too confident with. I'm still not messing with it that much. I'm not a big fan of it. Maybe it'll grow on me sometime. As I try to do like a sword thing here, but it's whatever. It didn't work. And then one more thing you can do, which is what I did here with this one. You freehand it. So like, you pick out the important parts, and then you try to draw those important parts. I suggest doing those even if you're still starting, just because it'll help with your confidence. So you'll have what's the word? You'll have more faith in what you draw, at least in my opinion, compared to just going off of what you. How do I explain it? I'm gonna explain it in better terms. So basically, let's say you try to draw someone in public, right? In public space, you don't necessarily have enough time to um, sketch everything out, do your little line work, make sure it looks clean, and then go back with a clean work. So by taking some time to just try to sketch someone by looking at them, you increase your ability to draw people quickly, I guess, if that makes sense. If this was like an anatomy class where we're looking at someone um modeling for us or something like that, or if we were out like getting coffee or whatever, drawing people, it'd be a lot more easier to explain it. But excuse me. But I'm gonna try to draw someone just so you can have a good idea of what I'm trying to put into words. Because I feel like I feel like I'm not making any sense whatsoever with these. But yeah, we'll just try that. We're gonna draw someone. I enjoy drawing like maid dresses and stuff, like dresses, just because I think they're so cool and there's so much shape going on that it's a good like learning, I guess. I don't know. So let's see. This is her head, right? Oh, my computer's loading. Weird. Okay, this is her head. So we're just gonna try to figure out where all of the frills and stuff for her dress are. So maybe something like this. And these don't always have to be the cleanest, especially if you're starting off, right? We're just trying to get a good feel of our model and understand what we're drawing and the importance of it. Don't worry about your hands not looking too good. It all comes with time. So this is Poofy here. And then she's picking up her dress. This is dark. There's too much light. Like this. And then the next part of the dress goes here. dresses, especially like some like maid dresses and stuff, they have like layers on them. I don't know the terminology for it. So being able to imagine where her legs will go past this point is very important. Maybe something like this, so. Oh. And then this dress is a little weird. And I don't like, let's see. Even I sometimes take measurements. Nope, this is fine. I feel like maybe this might be too long. Just a little too long. I'm gonna shorten it out just a bit. Don't forget to flip your canvas. Sometimes I forget to do it. And maybe I'll move the legs a little bit to the back. If you're drawing this in person, you want to do this after you're done looking at your model. But I know you can't really like lasso tool something, but you can what's it called? You can erase it and then draw like next to it. Cool. So once we got it down, go ahead and draw the rest of it. So her face is here. I'm not gonna get too crazy with drawing faces, at least not now. I'm gonna make a tutorial on how to draw faces and hair and stuff like that later. I was asked by one of you guys in the description on, in the comment section of the last video on how I draw faces and hair, and if I could give a tutorial with that, and yes, I will give a tutorial with that. Because it seems hard, but it's not that hard. Drawing faces is not hard. Okay. We're gonna delete this, it's too big. We're gonna outline this black because our dress is black, but we're not. We're gonna color black, but we're not gonna color it in all the way because I like to think that in some areas you're gonna see some creases. You see this a lot in like comic books and manga and stuff like that. They leave some whites in there, a little bit of some whites in there, just so that it doesn't cover everything. We're gonna have some pinch here for the clothing. And here's a little technique just to make it look like it popped over. We're gonna have like a little jump here, so jump over, down. And then to make the frills on the dress, I like to have these like squares, these lines going up. This just gives it that little poppy feel. I like to not worry too much on little details. But if I do want to draw certain little details, I just find a way to make it work, I guess. Like for a hair, it's just a big shape. There's nothing else to it. It's just a big old shape. You can complicate it if you'd like, but in reality, it's just a big old shape. For her shoes, I want to change them up a little bit. She's wearing heels. I don't want to draw heels. So I'll give her these little shoes. Like so. And boom. There she is. And we're just gonna color in her hair too. And this is basically what happens whenever you're able to have confidence in yourself. You can draw any pose you want. Because the more you study, the more everything you see starts to make sense. And you'll be unstoppable. And then, you know, maybe I'll make it look a little bit more cute, right? Maybe I can make this cuter. A little bow. She's not wearing one here, but I want to give her one. Why not? Bam. Maybe you give her a bigger bow in the back. So we draw her a bigger bow back here. In the back of her dress. Make it look a little cute. Bam. There she is. maybe she stepped in a puddle of water and now she stepped in some water and her skirt got wet or whatever. Now she's dripping water in her skirt. And it rained and her umbrella's right here or something, you know. Who knows? Who knows? You never know. But yeah, that's basically what I want you guys to get to the level of, where you can sketch a pose, have a rough gesture of what you want to look at, right? And then you can start understanding the shapes of where everything goes and why everything goes the way it does. Then you outline it, you make it cleaner. And then once you have confidence in yourself with all of this, you can just look at something and know where everything's going to go and not worry about having to do all these little details. This could just be practice material or like brainstorming stuff. This would just be your finished piece right here. But yeah, that's all. Sorry if this video is a lot longer than the last one. I still trying to figure out how I can teach art. I hope it made sense to you guys. Thank you all so much for watching. Appreciate you guys sticking around. I'm gonna try to make this as short as possible by speeding up certain areas. If you have any other questions, if there's anything you want me to teach you how to draw, or any tutorials you want to look at, please let me know. Don't forget, you're free to join the Discord server. Link will be in the description. Some of you guys are already in here. You're asking questions, you're reading stuff, checking out the stuff I posted for you guys to look at. If you haven't checked it out yet, please do so. Share it with your friends. Let's get this community growing and let's encourage more people to do art for fun instead of, you know, like toxic attitude towards it. Thanks again. Y'all have a good one. Bye bye.